Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Jordy, and this reading is for Pisces. We're going to be using a combination of crystal ball reading, pulling a rune, a chakra crystal, as well as building an initial message using a couple of different decks. Then we'll move into a full 10 card tarot spread, and afterwards there will be an extended reading for members where we can go further with the tarot cards and clarify each of the tarot cards in the 10 card spread. Just to give you a more complete message. So thank you so much for liking, sharing, commenting below, and subscribing to my channel. I appreciate all of your love and support. We're going to start with the crystal ball. I hope you're having a beautiful week, and thank you to my subscribers who are patiently waiting for the next reading. It's been a little bit challenging to get to my reading table here for all of you, but I'm happy to be here today. Okay, so looking into the crystal ball, I'm just going to clear my mind. So I'm seeing like a rat, actually, nibbling on some food. Like food at like a dinner place setting. And seeing tears. Seeing a sunrise. And I'm seeing the face of a newborn child. Interesting. Okay, so we'll leave that there and interpret those symbols. So, yeah, so the rat, is commonly a symbol of like, disease and, uncleanliness and all of that. But rats are pretty clever as well. They're quite resourceful. They're hard to get rid of. So, and it was eating at this dinner table with the food kind of going bad, So I got this feeling that there may be like a family dynamic in your life, or a relationship dynamic where time has passed without coming together, and there's been space, distance, perhaps conflict, and there just has been no dining together, no like haven't been creating any memories. And this is kind of like breaking down the relationship. It's like as time goes by and this table is not being filled with people at it, like the relationships that you care about. Well, it just feels like a kind of a waste, And then we saw those tears, so I feel like, this is sad. This is something that's very emotional, and but then we saw the sunrise. So I saw it in the crystal ball. So that's a rebirth, a new day that's coming. I don't know if it means that there's going to be revival or renewal or light shining once again in this connection or this group dynamic, but it does mean that there will be new energy coming in, and I feel like new life with that baby energy as well that I saw. New life being breathed into a situation, so that, if not filling the table with people who have been there before, but there will be people at the table once again to dine with, so to speak, and build your memories and all of that. So yeah, it's a story kind of loss, I feel like. And we'll see how it continues with the rest of the reading. So we have Fehu coming out. Or I believe this is Fehu. It might be Answaz. I always get them mixed up. Oh, it is Answaz. So this is about a message of insight, inspiration, and blessings. Truth, wisdom, communications. So yeah, it's kind of like an Eight of Wands energy. An Ace of Swords. So there's definitely communication coming through is what I'm getting primarily from that rune today. And we have a communication color coming through with the turquoise stone. I mean, it is dyed howlite, but it's supposed to be turquoise. That's what it's mimicking. So yeah, this throat chakra that we're dealing with today, healing those wounds of communication and maybe not being able to say something or having said something you regret. It's all about communication around this particular story we've been building so far. So let's grab an animal card from the Spirit Song Tarot. We have the dragonfly. This is the Six of Feathers, the Six of Swords, which means transition and insight. We had the word insight come up with the Answaz message as well. So there may be an insight on this relationship dynamic, or an insight on this new dawn that's coming. Your life has been in a transition from one phase to the next, and so have your relationships. Relationships may just be in a transition phase. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be endings, but there's definitely new beginnings. Okay. Usually I pull from this deck first, but we just went right into it with the Angel Tarot. We also have balance, the Temperance card, Archangel Zadkiel. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. Okay, so that's a card of healing. There is balance coming into the situation. This part of your life is being changed. Let's see what the tea leaves have to offer. We have empty chair. Someone is leaving your life. Oh, interesting. We have diamond. You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. We have vase, which is a secret admirer. We have wall, which is a misunderstanding. And one more card. We have bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. Okay. Let's take this one too. Purse. Pay attention to your finances. Interesting. So there's a mix of messages here. An empty chair. Someone's leaving your life. I feel like that's kind of the case that we've experienced perhaps already. That someone has left your life, Those chairs are empty at the table, kind of what I was seeing in the crystal ball. And but there is a receiving of a precious gift, and I feel like this gift is some type of healing of a misunderstanding within yourself or within a relationship. Whatever came between you and an individual or a group of people where you disbanded or your relationship kind of came to a halt. I feel like this gift that's coming through is like a realization or a communication or a message, perhaps some insight that opens you up to, make that connection of like, aha, that's why this had to happen this way. That's why you felt the way that you did. And that's why it took time to heal. And this may have affected your finances as well, this dynamic. Um, and there's the secret admirer energy from the vase. Um, the vase gets filled up with flowers. So someone may be a secret admirer. Not every relationship dynamic is lost in your situation, is what I'm hearing. You may have lost a number of relationships due to a situation in the past, centered around perhaps a particular important relationship in your life. But you're going to be receiving more, a new energy, you're a new dawn, so to speak. So we have the Empress, that is about receiving. The Ace of Wands. We'll grab all 10 cards, then we'll get started with the tarot reading. Okay. We have the Moon underneath the bottom of the deck. Interesting. There's a couple things going on in this reading with these two aces, well, three aces here, but I'm looking particularly at the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords here. I feel like you've grown a lot as a person from a time in your life where, life was full of bounty, full of connection, full of relationships, and then perhaps that there's that period of time that happened where the table was empty, the chairs were empty, and there was nothing but the rats feeding on the food, so to speak. Nobody was really connecting, a sense of lost community even, or lost relationship. Well, you've moved on in some ways here. I feel like almost entirely moved on, really. You've gone through a big transition in your life, Pisces, and you may still be holding on to feelings from the past, but you've successfully overcome any of the blockages that came with having to go through that experience, especially emotional blockages is what I'm hearing. Like your heart is freely flowing once again, and you're in a state of balance. Even if some uncomfortable emotions come up at some times. And what I'm seeing here with that secret admirer and some of these aces in this reading and the Fool, it's like as a chapter in your life is finally coming to close, a chapter in your emotions, a new chapter can open up where there may be actually someone who has been waiting for the right signal from you to open up, to express their love. We have this new love opportunity with the Ace of Wands, and the Four of Wands, another beautiful relationship card, is above it. You've kind of been protecting yourself for a long period of time here. Perhaps you had to go through some financial difficulties as well. But things are balancing out, and I almost feel like there's an opportunity here for reconciliation with the past as well. But I don't see there being growth in that area. I actually see a rejection of reconciliation kind of happening here. It might be one-sided. Maybe one person wants to reconcile, the other person doesn't. I don't know if that's you or the other person, but however it's going, it's almost like a reconciliation is shut down as fast as it is proposed. And then either around that time, before or after, there's some type of other storyline here where, you know, you have a secret admirer, there's love, there's an opportunity to connect. So yeah, I mean, how am I seeing this? I feel like this, sometimes the Ace of Swords speaks of reconciliation for me, and like speaking the truth, airing things out. But it's in the no position with the sword being put down. And then we have the Ace of Wands reverse, which is another opportunity here where someone is not going further with their actions. The passion is not ignited. The spark has died, so to speak. So both these cards are kind of saying, like, that there's some type of no happening here. Even though it is an opportunity, it is an ace. And then we have the Page of Pentacles reversed, which can be like an apology card, but maybe if it's reversed, it means, no apology or not accepting apology or something like that. But why are these two stories happening at the same time? Well, I feel like it's an important time for you, Pisces, to embrace new opportunities, to embrace new relationships. There's been a vacancy, there's been a lack for some time with, like, close connection. And for some reason, it's all kind of coming to a head. Healing this lack and coming to terms with it and accepting the situation. This precious gift of, like, insight in your life where it's like, you kind of made that connection of, like, how things have transpired and your own part in the situation and how you've been holding on and how this may have been holding you back from new opportunities. And with that awareness, whether you're actually having a communication with someone or not, there's this idea of, like, well, I don't need a reconciliation. I don't need an answer from that past situation. And I feel like this is when your signals you're putting out to the universe are switching into a different color. And that attracts secret admirers. That attracts people who want to come out into the open with their feelings. You may not have even been aware of it until it comes to you in a form that you didn't realize. So, I mean, that's interesting. The moon is also about things being revealed when it's reversed. Secrets coming out with the Ace of Swords or the moon reversed. So that's interesting. Okay, well, that's what I've got for your reading today. A bit of a love reading, which I don't really normally do, but, hey, it came out for a reason. As you let go of one thing, a new thing comes into your life. And it's beautiful. Okay, we're going to continue this reading over in the extended. If this is where you leave me, thank you so much for watching this video, for hitting the thumbs up button, sharing, commenting below, and all of that. And I'll see you again soon.